Yes, it's me, Mike Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Gas Shocks, home of the 116 Trophy and 120 Coupe Cup. Audi Tyres, find the best tyres for your vehicle, supplying all the top brands to keep you covered in every season and every condition. Tarox Brakes, the art of slowing down, precision engineered in Italy for ultimate performance, and specialised automotive services, specialists in high-quality automotive maintenance and classic car restoration. You can find the details of all our proud sponsors for this episode in the show notes. I'd like to introduce to the backseat driver a young fellow, literally, for the simple reason that he is passionate about cars. But a few years ago, his passion exploded in a very unusual direction. So I would like to introduce the backseat driver, Justin Fellows. Justin, welcome to the backseat driver.
Hello.
Where did all these cars come from? Is it a family passion, cars?
So my dad's always been interested in cars and had veteran cars. Sorry, vintage cars. I do apologise. Vintage cars. So a vintage car is something from the First World War up to 1930. That's a vintage car.
Something I keep telling people. Somebody put something on social media yesterday. I've crashed my vintage Rolls. I said it's a classic. I said it's a Shadow 2.
Yeah. Well,
it's never been a vintage.
So maybe I'm a little bit anal about it, or what a veteran car is, what a vintage car is, what an Edwardian car is, and what a Victorian car is.
Yeah.
And they all have dates.
Yeah.
So you do have classic cars, and pre-war cars, and then post-war classics.
Yeah. I do. I'm probably a bit like you. I explain to people, no, it's not a classic, it's not a vintage, it's this, it's that, it's the other. It's a PVT, post-vintage thoroughbred.
Yeah.
They look at you blank.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't put people right, but I know what the dates are, and I give it to myself. It's not a vintage. Yeah.
So the main reason we're here is you went down to watch the London Brighton, didn't you?
Yeah, so what I say, I've always been passionate of cars. My wife hasn't had the same sort of passion that I've had in cars.
She had to develop it.
Well, in all fairness, in 2018, we went down to London. I got to see my brother. It was exactly the same time as the London to Brighton was doing. So London to Brighton's always the first Sunday in November, because that's when it originally started in 1896.
Yeah. What was it to celebrate, the London to Brighton?
It was to celebrate the scrapping of the 4 miles an hour. So previously, cars were only allowed to go 4 miles an hour, and therefore had a chap with a red flag.
Oh, the famous red flag.
Yeah. Well, that was scrapped, I think, about the August of 1896, and to celebrate that, Henry Lawson got a car rally from Brighton, from London all the way to Brighton. Yeah, starting at the Metropole in London.
I mean, back then that would have been quite a considerable distance, because it's about 60 miles.
Massive distance, but not only that, but your roads, you didn't have tarmac roads at that point in time.
No, a bit like now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But no, you didn't. So I think circa about 30-odd cars did the first London to Brighton. There was only about 15 cars in the UK at that time.
All right.
And therefore, the other cars were made up from the French and also the Americans.
Yeah. Because, back then, the cars were, they're makes and models that a lot of people have never heard of, because a lot of the manufacturers didn't exist for a long while, did they?
No. So before we go into it, but my cars, most of my veteran cars, have a Didion Bouton.
Yeah.
Which, although they were going until the mid-50s, weren't really making cars circa from the mid-20s.
Yeah.
But in 1900, Didion Bouton were making 1,000 engines. Of which 40% went in Didion Bouton cars and 60% went in other.
Because that was a big thing. You get a manufacturer who manufactured for others as well, didn't they? It wasn't unusual to get one car and find another manufacturer's engine sat in it.
Yeah. So Renault started with Didion Bouton engines.
Yeah.
So I think in 1902 Renault started making their own engines.
Yeah.
Which would be a twin-cylinder engine at that time. So most of the engines at that time were only single-cylinder.
Yeah. So that was the one thing. Some of these single-cylinder engines were vast, weren't they? It wasn't like now where you get a tiny little piston. I mean, they were huge things, weren't they?
Well, I don't know. So the vehicles that I have start with about a 400cc, which is a 3.5 horsepower the Dion engine. And then I've got the 8 horsepower the Dion engine, and that's about a litre.
Yeah.
A litre in size. But everyone was thinking that the way you got more performance at that time was the bigger piston size.
Yeah.
So if you think about, you've probably heard of the Beast of Turin.
Yeah.
So the Beast of Turin is 4 cylinders, but 28.
I've heard of it, I've seen it, I've sat in it, I've photographed it, and I've chatted to its owner.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a serious piece of machinery, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah. But you've got to think about those. Each of those pistons is the same size as a large can of paint.
Yeah. So, just to go back a little bit, your visit to go and watch the London Brighton sparked something. I mean, what brought this on? Had you always had a secret passion for them, or was it suddenly like a light bulb moment?
I think it was more of a light bulb moment. I mean, as I say, I'd got veteran and pre-war cars.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're never, vintage and pre-war cars. I've never actually, taken too much interest into the veteran sort of stuff. It was not my dad's passion. But of course I knew about the London to Brighton.
Yeah.
Events had sort of happened, and as I say, I was went to see my brother, and in November we went to see the London to Brighton.
Yeah.
It was a cold morning, dry, cold, and we went down to the start line, and I was just captivated. Yeah. It was the smell, it was the mist coming off from the top. It was just magical. Yeah. I was 50 the following year. Yeah. And that's what I decided I was going to do for my 50th birthday. Right. I was going to do. Yeah. The London to Brighton.
Yeah. The downside would be you wouldn't have a car, would you?
No, we didn't. We had no car at the time. I have quite an intense sort of job. But at the Christmas, we started looking for a car. Yeah.
I had an idea what you wanted.
None whatsoever. Yeah. None whatsoever. My dad had somebody that he said had got a veteran car. Yeah. And we went to see this veteran car. Yeah.
Just putting in, there's a cut-off for the London Brighton. They can't be older than a certain day or younger than a certain day.
Yeah, they've got to be pre-1905. Right. Okay, so that's where your veteran stops, is 1904. Right. Okay, and that's the reason being. And it starts on the basis that when, I can't remember it, was it the Gazette? Yeah. Started the thing called the Old Crocs Run.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, so the Old Crocs Run was something that, how many of these old cars are still available and running? Yeah. And the cut-off was 25 years. Right. They stopped that in 1929. Yeah. And therefore 1904 was the last amount of cars, if that makes any sort of sense. I know you got your 20, that's where you got your 1904 from. Yeah. But also cars were developing so much at that period of time. Yeah. Your veterans cars are very sort of simple car, but in 1904, you'd got some you got 4-cylinder powerful cars that started to emerge by that time. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, the drive systems, because some were driven by chains, some were direct drive. I mean, it was an era of experimentation, wasn't it, to see what worked, what didn't work, and everything else. So, in many ways, not all cars were the same, were they?
No, and as I say, so not every car at that period of time had a steering wheel, something you take for granted now. Yeah. So the earliest car and so we go back to how I started. So I started looking for a car. Yeah.
Did you have an idea what you wanted, or were you open to offers?
So I turned up at my dad's friend's house, and he had, to my surprise, a 1902 Visi V.
Oh yeah.
Visi V, which is a Dion Bouton. Yeah. So
isn't that where you sit? You sit facing one.
Yeah, four seats, but two face in the direction. Yeah.
Of so the front passengers drive backwards, don't they?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. So,
but the driver sits facing forwards, but has to be able to see past the two in front.
yes,
So we're looking at him.
yeah, that's it. That's it. So we went to have a look, and that was a Didion Bouton. You were able to get bits and pieces for a Didion Bouton engine.
Yeah.
But he suggested I went and got an Oldsmobile. Oldsmobiles were cheaper than a Didion. Easier to sort of drive, not complicated or whatever else. So I said, all right, okay. So we went to look at an Oldsmobile that Christmas.
Yeah.
A chap in Southport, a chap called Bernard Williamson, had an Oldsmobile for sale. We looked at it, but I don't know. I just wanted a Didion Bouton engine vehicle.
Yeah.
So we continued the search. Ultimately, I bought a 1900 Bertrand, which has a 3.5 horsepower Didion Bouton engine.
Yeah.
And we picked that up from Germany.
All right.
So we went all the way to Germany for her. But still got her in the garage now. She's just competed in the London to Brighton this time. A friend of ours used her. But she's belt driven.
Right.
So in 1900, people were using leather belts to power the back wheels. But of course, you're then trying to get the power to the back wheels with a big leather belt. They slip. So
we're going to say there was slippage and stretch and all sorts of things.
Yeah. So Bertrand existed between 1900 and 1902.
Yeah.
As a company just outside Paris. But of course, belts didn't work. And therefore, no one was making belt vehicle cars.
Yeah.
Come the latter end of 1902.
Right.
They'd gone into change or prop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things were evolving very, very quickly.
Yeah. So we just said belts and props and chair. Did you have a particular idea what motive power or what drive you wanted?
No, I just wanted it.
Or does some cause more problems than others?
No, I just wanted a Didion Bouton engine vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm not really giving it much thought about whether it was belt driven, whether it was chain driven or prop. And also, at that period of time as well, cost. Because veteran cars aren't particularly cheap. A 1905 car is far cheaper than a 1904 car.
I know, because on New Year's Day we were talking to a mutual friend of ours, and he was saying he has one car, and he said this isn't eligible for London to Brighton because it's about 12 months too young. He said if it was eligible, he said one of the most noticeable things, he said it would be worth about £150,000 more than it's worth now because of its eligibility.
Yes.
So I conclude that is the one thing buying veteran cars is buying them, because if you want to do that, you will have a premium to pay to get a car that can do the London to Brighton.
Yeah, there's a massive premium for a London to Brighton car.
Yeah. And I conclude them selling it realise.
Yeah. But there's probably only about 1,500 veteran cars in the world. There's 1,300 dated by the Veteran Car Club of Great Britain, and therefore you can, you think there's a few that are not dated and whatever else, but there isn't many veteran cars.
I mean, the Veteran Car Club, do you talk to them and say, look, I'm after a car for the London brand? Do they know where these cars are and which are likely to be for sale, or is it a bit of a closed shop?
No, I mean, you get cars advertised on pre-war cars. There, Tom Parrott has become quite big in the selling of veteran cars.
Yeah.
Just recently, maybe in the last 18 months, 2 years. But you can, you can get a veteran car. I mean, if you advertise in the Veteran Car magazine, maybe you get one. And then there's word of mouth. Yeah. I'm also in the Didion Bouton Club. I'm treasurer of the Didion Bouton.
All right. I will say you're a bit keen on these, are you?
On the Didion Bouton. Well, they're a very simple engine. Yeah. I'm not technically minded. Yeah. But I can do everything that I need to do on the Didion engine. Yeah. They're a very reliable engine, I've sort of found, and whatever. So, no, I am a fan. Yeah. And a lot of the cars that were made at that period of time were very sort of similar. Yeah. Single cylinder. At the end of the day, it's spark and fuel. That's all you need, spark and fuel. Yeah. Yeah. And you're away.
Suck, squeeze, bang, ball, basically, isn't it? I mean, that theory has never really changed, has it?
No.
Suck it in, explode it. The pressure generated drives a piston or whatever, and it sends power to the wheels.
Yeah.
And go again.
Yes. Yeah. So as I say, 2019, we bought a car. We bought it back from Germany.
What did the wife say to this, by the way?
Right. Well, now I've got enthusiasm.
Right.
So I've now actually been able to get Debs involved.
Yeah.
In the car scene.
Right.
So
we're on a winner.
we're on a winner. We both witnessed the start at Hyde Park. We were both captivated by it all.
Yeah.
Just the magic of it all. And therefore, I've now got sort of a buy-in from my better half. And that makes life an awful lot easier.
Yeah.
So we've gone to Germany. We picked the car up and then we got a home.
Yeah.
Well, I can't start her. I can't start her. Me, my dad, and a close mechanical friend spent several months.
All right. So
that started. Oh, it was... So you've got to...
It went to kind of WD-40.
And I just said it was spark and fuel, but I kept on flooding her. I couldn't get the spark. They have a trembler coil.
By the way, did they start... Is it still crank, or are there different methods of starting them?
No, there are. So you can get them converted. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit of a, all mine are cranked.
Right.
I haven't got to that stage now that, I need to press a button.
Yeah.
So they're all cranked.
Yeah.
And they're not too bad. You become familiar with each one and the kickback and whatever else. Believe it or not, the 3.5 horsepower has a bigger kick than the 8.
Because that's the one thing you have to look out for, isn't it? I've been told the crank so they'll kick back and it can, the crank handle can definitely have a go.
It's the way that you hold the handle, and therefore you're letting go of that handle when you get to 12 o'clock.
Right,
okay. Because if you don't, and it does kick back, then I mean, my son has got a few killer blows, let's say.
So basically, prior to that, the handle's turning. If you get it wrong, the handle's not turning, you're turning.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But it do have a little bit of a kick.
Yeah.
Plus, you become familiar with the car, you know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got that one going eventually then.
So
what was wrong with it, by the way?
Right now, so we left here, so we'd already paid our money for London to Brighton.
Yeah.
She was thrown in the back of a transit van and we went down to London.
Yeah.
I'd never driven her.
Right.
I'd never driven her. I could start her, but I couldn't necessarily keep her going.
Yeah.
And my dad said, just take her down there. Somebody will tell you how to run her.
Because from what I can see when I've watched these, like London, Brighton and everything else, I've never actually been to it, but you watch it on television, etc. There seems to be an art to keeping them running. It's not like a body car where you turn a key and everything just carries on until you turn it off again. There is an art to keeping a veteran car up and running, like pump oil pressures and things like that. And
I'm not sure. I mean, once you start it, it's a case of the Bertrand had a thing called a London air carburettor.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm mixing fuel with air.
Yeah.
And therefore, I've got another problem on the basis I don't know how to drive the damn thing.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to play around with the mixture.
Yeah.
As well.
Which you haven't a clue about because you haven't driven it yet.
No,
it's only just started.
I mean, the other thing was, so the car had come from Germany. Right. It come from a private museum. It not been on the road since 1926.
Right.
Although the guy in Germany had restored the car.
Yeah.
It not been on the road since 1926.
Yeah.
It operated a wood saw for 60 years of its life between 1926 and 1986 because it's self-driven.
Yeah.
So someone was operating just outside Paris. A chap in Germany called Clemens Heider restored the car.
Yeah.
Bought the car just outside Paris, restored the car. But of course, it sat in his private museum.
Yeah. I would say that's the one problem, apart from certain museums I know where they do get them out as often as they can. Most museum cars are idle, aren't they? They just sit there and look pretty.
Well, I mean, Clemens is about 6'6".
Yeah.
So one of the things that he realised when he'd restored it was it actually wasn't big enough for him. So that's one of the reasons he sort of sold it and whatever else. And we benefited from it. But we went down to London without the car being able or not being able to drive the car.
Yeah.
I was given some instructions. So also, because it came from Germany, it hadn't got It wasn't. I didn't have a V5.
Right.
The V5 only arrived on the Tuesday. We set off.
Yeah.
On the Thursday.
Right.
So he's still not been on the road since 1926. And a chap called Chris Thomas taught me how to drive it on the Saturday afternoon. But that was the first time it had been on the road since 1926.
Right.
In 2019.
Yeah.
As I say, he taught me how to drive it. And we set off.
Was this with trepidation after all this time? Did you get behind the... Is it a wheel or a tiller?
No, she's got a wheel.
Right.
And she's got a steering wheel. Yeah, so, yeah. So, no, we... I don't know about... I think maybe a bit of stupidity.
Yeah.
You could say, well, why did you go down there? It was just the way events... We'd not got the V5 for her because that wasn't the simplest of things to get at that period of time. And there was a lovely lady at the DVLA that actually gave me the registration number before it actually arrived in the post.
Right.
Or at least we could get the registration number sort of, made up. Because, of course, I had those sign written because... That's what it would have been.
Don't mind me asking, are the plates age-related to them?
So what you do get now is people buy the cars and take the old plate off.
Yeah.
And then they'll get a BS number from the DVLA.
Yeah.
So, because plates have become very, very,
I mean, we used to know somebody. I've known a few people that have very early plates, and they have them on the modern cars.
Yeah.
And that these plates, in certain ones, are worth absolute fortunes. They're worth probably more than the cars are worth.
Yeah. So I've got a mixture of age-related plates.
Yeah.
And also plates that have been given by the DVLA, which are non-transferable.
Right.
So I say, we got the car. A chap called Chris Thomas got me going on a Saturday afternoon, and Deb sat in the car for the first time while it was going as we left Hyde Park.
Yeah.
5:30 from the hotel on the Sunday morning.
Yeah.
We had a few problems at the start.
Yeah.
And we were pushed over the start line.
Right.
We never got to Brighton. We got to Brixton.
All right.
But it was an unbelievable experience. Didn't matter the fact that we didn't get to Brighton.
Yeah.
Our aspirations were, can we get back past Buckingham Palace? We got past. Can we get down the Mall? Yeah. Can we get over the river?
Yeah.
So it was those little sort of, but by the time, I think it was probably about 10 o'clock, we'd had various sort of problems with the car. The rod that does the advance and retarded snapped.
Yeah.
And therefore I was using a combination of tape and tyre wraps.
Yeah.
To be sort of going. And then we got a fuel leak as well. So we'd done a full tank of fuel. And I say a full tank of fuel, which probably only has about 10 litres in the tank. But by the time we got to Brixton, 7 miles away, we got that much of a leak. It was just a time to call it a day.
Yeah.
There was a tube station in Brixton, so I just jumped back on the tube, went and picked the van up.
Yeah.
Because we always thought that we would break down closer to London than Brighton.
Right.
But the fact is, we participated in it.
Yeah.
And it was
I suppose it's a learning curve, isn't
a massive learning curve, so we got home. I mean, you get there and you've got loads of experts, haven't you?
Yeah.
What spark plugs are you using? I've got NGKs. Oh, you'd be better off with using the Champions, What sort of carburetor is on it? Oh, it says original. Oh, you want a Zenith on it.
Yeah.
So,
if she's not being funny, if you start doing this, you suddenly start to erode originality, don't you?
You do.
And I get the feeling you're a man who likes his originality.
I do like the originality, but the thing's got to be usable as well. And okay, so yes, I've still got the original carburetor for her.
Yeah.
But she's on the Zenith.
Yeah.
And what the difference with the Zenith is she's become a usable car.
Right. But if all else fails, you could put the original back on if it's going on display somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's now done London to Brighton and completed London to Brighton 3 times.
Yeah.
The Veteran. Twice we've completed a next door. So next door have completed. So I've actually got our next door neighbour doing the Veteran car. So he has an Oldsmobile.
Right.
Yeah. So.
So what else have you got besides that? Because, you had when I first met you, you had a proper, genuine Didion boot on. That was the car, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I've got a 1900 Bertrand.
Yeah.
And then we've got a 1902 Didion Bouton.
Yeah.
8 horsepower, which is a K2.
Yeah.
Which is a lovely car. And then I've got a 1903 Didion Bouton.
Yeah.
6 horsepower, which my son uses.
Right.
And that's where my veteran cars sort of stop. So I've got 3 veteran cars.
Yeah.
I then have some Edwardian cars.
Right.
So I have
So what's the Edwardian period, if you don't mind me asking?
so basically from 1905 to 1915.
Right.
Yeah.
And there'll be an increase in is there an increase in the number of manufacturers during that period?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A massive increase in the number of manufacturers at that period of time. Cars, very few cars are now sort of single cylinders. Most are either twin, or 4. So we've got an Edwardian Talbot, which are the newest car that we've got, which is a 6-cylinder.
Right.
So 6-cylinder is 1910.
Is it French or an English car? Or because there's a period, there's Talbot, which people associate with England, and then there's Talbot, which is Talbot, and you don't pronounce the T, which is the French one.
So she's a car that was made in England.
Right.
So I think from 1904, I might be, somebody will say, oh no, it was 1903, but 1904, I think Talbots were made in England.
Yeah.
But yes, because it was Talbot to start with.
Yeah.
And yes, a French manufacturer.
Yeah.
Mean Clement. But yeah, so that car is 6-cylinder, 4-speed, and 1910. That car will do 60 miles an hour.
Right, I'm going to say there'll be a sudden increase in performance, really, won't there?
Yeah. But you've only got two brakes.
Yeah.
You've only got rear brakes. I don't think brakes, front wheel brakes, came until really after the First World War.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I've driven Austin 7s.
Yep.
And they wrote a song for them, Ain't No Stopping Us Now, even with 4-wheel brakes and the handbrake full on.
Yeah, because you've got...
You don't exactly... you don't lock up and slide to a halt with them, do you?
No. Well, you've got the cable breaks and the cables get stretched.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a little thing called cable stretchers, weren't there?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you use those for, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, certainly your cars can do the London to Brighton, others can't. Are there events for these cars that don't fall into the London to Brighton?
Yeah, so the Veteran Car Club caters for vehicles up to 1915.
Right.
So one of the things that we bought the Talbot just recently, and we've bought the Talbot to do veteran car rallies, relatively sort of local to us. We've just signed up to do a rally in April, which is in the Lake District.
All right.
And we'll drive the car there.
Yeah.
And we'll drive the car back.
Yeah.
That's the intention.
In my opinion, who am I be butting in? That's how it should be. When I competed with a late great friend of mine with his ex-work Porsches, Porsche always had the deal. You drive the cars to the event, you compete, and provided you don't bend it round something, you drive it back home. And we always did that.
Yeah.
We might have had a service crew somewhere around us, perchance we needed parts or things like that, but it's, to my mind, that is how it should be done. Drive them there, do what you're doing, drive them back.
Yeah, but with the veteran car, so we've done a couple of rallies.
I bet you that, by the way, I won't expect you to drive your old deal.
Yeah.
From here in Lancashire to London, compete and drive back.
No. So,
maybe you should do it, but it will take a long while.
But even the one even the rallies in Chester,
yeah,
you're sort of 50 miles away from Chester or whatever else. It's going to take me 4 or 5 hours in the Didion to get there, and then 4 or 5 hours to get back, or whatever else. And also, there's the flogging of the car as well. So we I want to try and avoid trailering the car there to the event. And that's why we bought the Talbot. So hopefully, not only that, I'll stop using the veteran cars, maybe about 6 weeks, 8 weeks before London to Brighton.
Yeah.
On the basis if something goes wrong with that car, I have an inability to, something serious, I haven't got the ability to repair it.
Yeah.
If it's going to go wrong, I'd rather it go wrong on the London to Brighton than 4 or 5 weeks before and then not participate in any shape or form.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, the performance will increase. I mean, given the age of some of these cars, how many miles have some of them covered? I know they weren't a long-distance run when they were new. It wasn't a long-distance run of today. But, I mean, didn't they count how many miles they did? Was there an odometer on them?
No, there isn't, no.
Right.
No, so there's...
You get a speedo?
No.
Oh, right.
No. So, I mean, so the little 1900 3.5 horsepower, she will probably do 22, 23 miles an hour on flat.
Yeah.
She's got to be flat. She doesn't like hills in any shape or form.
Yeah.
I mean, we live on the Fylde coast here, and it's surprising how many hills you find with it.
Yeah.
She does not do hills.
So, I mean, the way to get them up is either everybody gets out and pushes. You can tack, can't you?
Debbie's has got an art form now, jumping off, pushing her, and then jumping back on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as part of the learning curve that you go through with it.
So that's your better half's participation in veteran cars. She does a lot of jumping on and off and pushing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, well.
To say that. So the 8 horsepower, Dion.
Yeah.
She will do 35 miles an hour.
Right.
And she'll have no problems doing the London to Brighton hills with 4 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of, when you're doing the London to Brighton, there's a lot of, how many people have you got in the car?
Yeah.
Will they go up the hills and whatever else?
Yeah.
You also, the key in the London to Brighton is getting away, getting out of London.
Right.
And they start in age related. So the earliest cars start first.
Yeah.
So
how many take part these days in the modern one?
I think it was about 450 registered.
Right.
This year. Yeah. So there are a couple of 1905 cars.
Yeah.
Right. And they've got grandfather rights.
Right.
So if you think of Genevieve.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The film I actually enjoy watching when it's on.
Yeah. 1953. The film was made in 1953. And there was Genevieve.
Yeah.
And there was the Spiker.
Yeah.
The Spiker is actually a 1905 car.
Right.
But they didn't realise that at the time.
Right.
So it's been dated since. But it's got grandfather rights.
Yeah.
And therefore can participate.
By the way, if memory serves, Spiker are Dutch, aren't they?
They are Dutch, yes.
Yeah.
So that's able to participate still. There are a couple of other cars but most of them, and I say most of them, all but half a dozen.
Yeah.
Are pre-1905.
Right. Are the cars from Genevieve, do they still appear at the London Brighton?
Yeah, so Genevieve does it every year.
Yeah.
Every year I've entered it, Genevieve has done it.
Yeah.
And the Spiker has done it once. Don't know if it was last year, the year before. Both cars were over here. They were both in Bewley on the run-up.
All right.
To London's Brighton. And then I think the week before,
they
were both in the RAC at Pall Mall.
Right.
In the foyer there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
Because to the aficionados, do they attract attention, or have you looked upon as a bit overly glamorised?
No, they do attract attention.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Genevieve, the film, is where the car movement in the UK really started.
Yeah.
Before Genevieve, I don't think the car enthusiast, and that gave people the bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as I said, I do find it because the thing is, the bulk of the film Genevieve is it wasn't the ride to Brighton, it was the journey back. It was like a race back, wasn't it?
Yeah. And of course,
by the way, does your wife play the trombone or trumpet like Kay Kendall did?
No, apparently no. But no, I mean, it wasn't filmed en route either. It was filmed near Pinewood Studios.
All right.
Yeah.
So the bulk of the journey is nothing to do with the London to Brighton.
No. So also there's some flaws in it because London to Brighton takes place in November.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, but there's a cocktail party.
Yeah.
Well, the date of the cocktail party is in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some flaws with it, but it got the car movement going, and yes, let's see as stars of the show.
Yeah. What are you finding? I mean, you've got into it. Is the veteran movement still attracting new members? Because I mean, a lot of the old cars, the enthusiasts are slightly dying off a little bit.
Russell,
I'm not inferring anything here, but it's like classic cars now are like 70s, 80s and early 90s for a lot of people.
Yeah, but so I think it comes back to the car that you wanted as a child.
Yeah.
So the cars that, I wanted as a child would probably have been, the Fords have got a big following, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, serious, yeah.
But it's because people of my era couldn't afford them.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But man, they're not being funny. You're in many ways the perfect RS2000 candidate because back then you couldn't afford one.
Yeah.
Now you can.
Yes.
Hence the fact the values of RS2000s have skyrocketed.
Yeah. But the passion for me is these simple cars that people that are not technical can actually operate.
Yeah.
But we'll go, we live on the Fylde coast. We'll go to Lytham for something, a bite to eat at lunchtime, or a coffee or whatever else. And we'll sit. We'll take the car there. Car will sit in the square.
Yeah.
And the amount of attention.
So you'll have to keep an eye on it, really, won't you?
Well, I mean, I'm comfortable with people sort of taking photographs of them and whatever else. It's when they start taking souvenirs. That's when it's...
That's your problem, isn't it?
Yeah. And you'll occasionally, because of course they've got no doors on them or whatever, you'll occasionally get people sat on you, and that's not right. Because, I mean,
no,
I wouldn't go and sit in your car.
No.
I wouldn't just open the door and go and sit in your car. So why...
not being funny, you'd be surprised how often that actually happens. And people say to me, I mean, I went to one event with my, not being boastful, modern desirable car, and somebody was very upset because I'd locked it.
Right, yeah.
Because he wanted to have a sit-in.
Yeah.
I said, did you? Do you?
Yeah. And look at me, I'm there's somebody who's showing some enthusiasm or whatever else, I'll say, we're climbing, I'll take the photograph of you or whatever else. Especially if you've got kids with them or whatever else. Happy to sort of do that.
Yeah.
But when I'm not with the car and in the coffee shop and watching them and whatever else, and then someone just sits in the car, it's a bit...
Because I know one thing that is very expensive on some of them. I was chatting to a guy with a stunning vintage Bentley. The cost of the lights to replace them is... I mean, you could buy a car.
Yeah.
These headlights cost.
Yeah. Some of them are massive bucks,
Yeah.
We've just bought a rear light for our 8 horsepower Dion, which is not that one, which is referred to as a number plate light, whatever else. And that little brass light was £500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because a lot of your cars will be what a friend of mine in America, Joe Pep, calls brass era cars.
Yeah.
Because I know he was telling me a lot of these lights were based, they come from the fact that they were based on ship's lights, hence the design of them.
Yeah.
Where do we get lights from? Well, they'll do when they're off a ship.
Yeah.
I conclude an original one is highly desirable, but there'll be reproductions that are acceptable at times.
I'm not sure that there are reproductions.
All right.
I'm not too sure that you've got them. I've not come across. I'll be pointing out then, yes, you can, but I've not seen any at all. But the issue that you've got with them, that because they're quite flimsy, they're easy to damage, easy to bend and whatever else. And there are some specialists that actually refurbish the lights.
Right.
But you've got to bear in mind the amount of time that some of them, take refurbishing them.
Yeah.
Well, it takes an hour to clean one.
That'll be brass saw time as well, won't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that you'll talk about is what metal polish are you sort of using? Are you using Autosol? Are you using Peak? Are you using Brasso? Are you using the cloth? Are you using the liquid? Yeah. So I use cloth. I use the Brasso cloth. I find that the liquid gives me too much of a white sort of stain on the brass.
Yeah. And I conclude the maintenance of these cars is part of the pleasure of owning them, isn't it? Having to get your spanners out.
I touch wood, and I don't often get the spanners out. I spend a lot of time cleaning.
Yeah.
And as I say, I'm probably over the top. I mean, I'll clean the engine's as clean as the outside.
Yeah.
I think you witnessed that. A couple of weeks ago and whatever else. The engine's sort of spotless. There's no oil on the engine and whatever else, and all the brass under the bonnet as clean as the brass outside.
When you're driving about in them, do you find other motorists give you plenty of room?
They do, actually. Yeah. They are very, very courteous. I mean, and you get an awful lot of attention.
Yeah,
we will. Wave to you and whatever else. The biggest problem I do have is, we are slow.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody will overtake us and then brake immediately afterwards. When we haven't got great brakes.
No.
We've got two-wheel brakes, and they're really simple brakes. No much different really than brakes of a bicycle.
Yeah.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest. You just have to pay attention to the road.
So, are there any more on the horizon? Do you have your eyes on another one?
Them was me saying, oh God, no. I have a very little room in the garage, so something I'd have to go beforehand.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind a Victorian vehicle.
Right.
So Victorian is pre-1900.
Right.
Yeah. So
any ideas what? Because I must say, you're moving into a realm that not even I know anything about.
I would like a Victorian vehicle that probably has a Benz engine. Now, not necessarily a Benz because you're talking big bucks.
Yeah.
So a Benz car of that period is a couple £100,000.
Yeah.
Whereas you can get something like a Her2.
Yeah.
That uses exactly the same engine and whatever else, but it hasn't got the Benz name.
Yeah.
And it's probably half the price.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you know where they are? Do you know where to get one if you wanted one?
Yeah. But I think I know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's certain cars that I would want.
Yeah.
Certain cars that you wouldn't.
Right.
It wouldn't be one of them.
And given the fact you mentioned, do you tend to find there's a lot of them in Germany and Europe as a whole? Are the bulk of them there compared?
Well, the bulk of the cars are here.
Oh, right.
Bulk of veteran cars are actually here.
Yeah.
Because this is where you've got the London to Brighton. A lot of it, right, so I said before there was probably about 1,500 cars worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay. And of which I think there's 1,250 that are registered by the Veteran Car Club.
Yeah.
And therefore you've got to be registered by the Veteran Cars Club to participate in the London to Brighton. But a lot of the cars are kept here.
Yeah.
Although their owners are from Australia, Canada, States, Germany. And therefore the car is kept here. You still have the original registration number on it, let's say, and they'll have the likes of Tom Parrott, Nigel Parrott service the car before. They'll collect the car, do the rally, and then Tom Parrott will take your whiskey back off his warehouse and whatever else. So, you do get quite a bit of that. See, a lot of the participants are local.
Yeah.
Outside the UK, keep the car in the UK.
Right. So this year, 2026, what are your plans? Is it London to Brighton again, or?
Oh, yeah, so we're doing London to Brighton, so we'll have at least 2 cars in London to Brighton, possibly the 3 cars in London to Brighton.
Yeah.
We were in France in June with the Didion Bouton Club.
Yep.
So we've got a week in Van. There will be couple of events that we do with the Veteran Car Club as well, local events in the Northwest region. And we do also the Creepy Crawly. So the Creepy Crawly is a good event done by the Veteran Car Club, and that's for single-cylinder vehicles or cars up to 1904 or single-cylinder vehicles up to 1915, I think, something like that.
Right.
But there's usually at least 100 cars on that event. That's a good event.
Justin Fellows, I wish you all the best, and it's nice to meet somebody who's keeping these cars alive, because that's the other thing. If it weren't for guys like you, these cars would just disappear. Because there's few people really understand them as well, isn't there?
I kind of feel so. London to Brighton, I was surprised how many young people were there. The problem you've got with modern day cars is no one can tinker anymore.
No,
but these cars allow you to tinker, which is part of part of the passion. Yeah, it's no good just sort of driving somewhere in your car. People won't understand how they work and how and get under the bonnet. Yeah, a modern car won't allow you to do that.
Once again, Justin Fellows, thanks very much. It's been a pleasure chatting to you.